Hello and welcome everybody to 1964. Arnold Palmer. How did we get here with Arnold Palmer? Okay, well, in 1961, Arnold Palmer signed a deal with Wilson. You know, everybody knows Arnold Palmer, credited from turning golf from a small-time business to big business. Jack Nicklaus, Nick Faldo, Tiger Woods. What's the one that you pick out now? Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, Dustin Johnson. I don't know. Pick a big name, okay? And it's like Arnold Palmer was the one who really brought golf to TV and made it the big time sport that it is now. And so he's also famous for his drink. The Arnold Palmer, you guys know, iced tea, lemonade. It's delicious. Chick-fil-A. I just ate at Chick-fil-A. Outside in Wisconsin, bitter cold. But I'm warm on the inside, thanks to Chick-fil-A. I was just there. They have the Fun Joy, the Sun Fun, the Georgia Fun, the Georgia Stupid. What's called? It's Arnold Palmer, but they named it something else. Stop yelling. Calm down, everybody. It's all right. That Arnold Palmer. Okay. So in the early 60s, he signed a deal with Wilson. And then he couldn't get out of it until 64. And that's when he introduced this, the Matic Laminate. Okay, I love the irons, the 1964 Matic irons, but what about the woods? Seems interesting. So let's talk about identifying features and get this on the review table. Easy to recognize with the TIE Fighter shaped sole plate, 4 screws. AP right in the middle, easy to see. AP for Audemars Piguet, right? For you watch people. But for us golf people, it's Arnold Palmer, duh. And then we have the wood number right here in this case. The one wood, the driver. You can see it is bore through laminate right here. That's the plug for the shaft. And we're going to spin around the skirt here. Let's first look at the face. You can see clearly laminate. There's going to be 3 screws holding that faceplate in. This is the 1964 Matic. Spin around the skirt. I don't see any decals on the toe. There is a weight here in the aft portion. You can see that visible on the skirt. And a pin right here on the heel side. We have whipping and a ferrule, which I think is interesting. The top line, the crown is also very simple. I like it. It's just plain when you can see that cut out for the red face insert. Very pleasant to look at. The ferrule does have 2 gold bands on it. And then we move to this really interesting stepped shaft. This is a Charger. Not sure if it's going to show up. It does say Charger here. Arnold Palmer by True Temper Charger. I think this is a regular flex. I put the sticker on here to remind me that it's a 1964. And then you can see the grip right here. I don't know if this is an original grip. It says Chevron up here, and it looks old. No clue if this is the original. But a lovely looking club earlier this year when it was, warm and sunny. I took this out to the range, and let's talk about how it feels to hit. All right, here we go. The AP Arnold Palmer Matic. Matic irons were some of my favorite irons ever made. I think they're just absolutely lovely. They feel great when you hit them well. I'm really, to be frank, a little disappointed that this is the matching wood. It's laminate, I get it. They painted it black, okay. Let's be serious about golf. Let's paint it black. All right, fine. At the time, Arnold Palmer was a Proline brand, but you couldn't, steal a truckload of persimmon heads from McGregor and just rebrand them. You couldn't do that, Arnold. So this is what we were with, and this is what we're left with, and it looks like a Wilson. I mean, the grip is fossilized, don't worry about it. The steel shaft, it's not bad. There's a little wear and tear on it, not a big deal. Whipping is fine. The head has a few marks, but it just looks like a black head, looks like a Wilson. Red insert, very an wood. Does that make sense? It just looks like a club. Nothing about it stands out. On the crown, if there was anything there, it's long gone, okay? So,
How does it feel? And this better feel like $1,000,000, because these irons that I would pair it with feel and look like $1,000,000. And this just looks blah. All right. That was a little heely, slicey one. The wind is helping, obviously, going left to right. I might have carried 200. And I thought my tee was here. Is this my broken tee? Did you witness this? How come nobody told me about that? All right, well, Arnold Palmer, that felt pretty good. Did it feel like $1,000,000? I don't know if I would say that. All right, I'm gonna put it right next to my broken tee and not stab myself with that broken tee. Teed up maybe a tiny bit high because I didn't want to stab myself. All right. Well, yeah, the weighting feels good. Like some clubs from this era, like I understand why people put like lead tape on them because they kind of have a funky weight, but this one feels like it's weighted appropriately. That one was a little pulley on my part, but had good carry, good distance. It really bounced off the face. Huh. It feels really, this feels like a player's club. I don't know why it shocked me. As soon as I pushed that record button, I was like, I'm gonna have to tell everybody how disappointed I am in it. Looks, yes. Dynamics, it's really good. It's so annoying that it's good. I wanted to hate this so bad. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna duff this one, just because I hate the looks of it. Oh my gosh. Why, Arnold Palmer? Why? Why did that feel so good in the howling wind? What did I do wrong? What's this channel amounting to? Urgh, I hate it. It looks terrible, but it feels, I would totally play this with the Trumatic irons. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
This felt good. I liked it on the range. I noticed on the range it felt a little heavy. Not sure if that's my imagination. Just this individual maybe absorbed some moisture or something. Maybe a tiny bit heavy. But sometimes I feel like that helps with consistency. And there was a stiff breeze moving as I was looking out at the range left to right. So, is this something, that I love? I don't know if I love it, but it functions as a driver. But before we talk a little bit about some comparisons here, let's talk about Arnold Palmer. Arnold Palmer in '64 started the AP. He was free from the chains of Wilson at that point because he had a contract with Wilson. And so with the license agreement, he couldn't make his own clubs until 1964. 1964, he came out with his own set of clubs, Proline. Proline brands loved it. And then in 1969, Sears. This is all, I'm using hyperbole and visualizations of what's going on. Sears backed a dump truck full of money up to his house and was just like, do you want me to pull this lever? And he was like, Arnold Palmer was like, yes, please. I mean, who wouldn't say yes to that? And so dump truck full of money, and Sears is selling his brand, AP, Arnold Palmer, in their catalog retail stores. Oh, okay. Now, the small pro shops are just like, wait a second, this is supposed to be our exclusive Proline brand. What are you doing? You're saturating the market with this. You're killing us, Smalls. And what could they do? So it's hard for me to criticize either side because I get it. I get both sides, and who's right? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. But unfortunately, because of that decision, we no longer have the Arnold Palmer Proline brand of clubs, and that stopped in 1960. I think they continued for a couple of years, but by 1971, it was just a dead Proline brand. So retail only. So a lot of Arnold Palmer stuff you see bouncing around the secondhand market are the retail brands because they were just so mass produced and so ubiquitous through the 70s. And, you know, you're just going to find a lot of like Arnold Palmer branded clubs, which are retail line. So let's talk a little bit about comparisons here. It reminded me of the Wilson. This came out, this is the Wilson Staff 2. I mean, you're talking about 80s versus 60s, but they're both laminate woods. And looking back through history, you know, like, does this really stand out as something impressive? Like even the Wilson clubs from the era, you know, were laminate and had interesting inserts. This one, you know, doesn't necessarily have an interesting insert, but it's very similar, brass weight in the back. You know, it's like, which one do I prefer? Dynamically, I've always liked hitting the Wilson Staff 2s. Lots, you see, we're competing for our vintage minds and hearts here. So there's some comparison there. I think this is probably a pretty accurate comparison, all things considered, except for the decade. And the other one, speaking of decades, this is a 1992 Karsten Ping. I was like, this kind of reminds me of like the simplicity of a Ping laminate wood. And I look at them now in, you know, the profile and everything, and I'm like, yeah, no, not really compared. But that's what went through my mind, just about how plain it is. And if that's my biggest criticism, what am I going to do with it? Am I going to replace those McGregor's, Persimmon McGregor's I have in there with my true Matic iron set, or am I going to use the AP woods? What would you do? Would you play all Arnold Palmer true Matic, these woods and those irons, or not? Right now, I'm leaning towards not. But convince me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What are your thoughts about the Arnold Palmer brand? Arnold Palmer the man, the Proline debacle, all of that. I'm interested to read all of your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And I need to give a special thank you to my patrons. Patrons that support this channel, I really, really appreciate you. I mean, I wouldn't be here without you. I feel like you guys really kept this channel afloat for the last few years. So thank you. If you want to support the channel in another way, you can visit my Amazon shop. I'll put a link in the description below. I am an Amazon associate. I make proceeds from qualifying purchases. Stay tuned. Right after this, we have a quick little segment where I hit a few shots indoors with the club so you can kind of see some data, just my data. And again, it changes every day when I go to an indoor range. So it's just whatever I was hitting that day. If you enjoy this content, please subscribe. I am the Vintage Golfer.